cut the damn music, and stop the fucking presses. Because, ladies and gentlemen, Bobby Lashley has returned. He has returned to make out with Lana in the main event of Raw. Holy shit. A new era has started. And then we go to AEW. And wait a minute. Wait for it. Yes, the return of Jack fucking Swagger, Hager, whatever he wants to call himself. Incredible. The wrestling world is on fire, baby. Woo!
The wrestling world is on fire. You are hopped up on whatever type of drug you are on today. It was helium on ECW. I need to figure out what it is today. But yes, Bobby Lashley apparently has returned to make out with Lana. Jack Hager, Jack Swagger, whatever the deal is on AEW, we are going to get into that on the 5th edition of the unofficial podcast right here on the J-Dogg Nation Network. So, of course, at any point during this podcast, you feel so inclined, feel free to click the like, comment, and subscribe, and also click the bell icon. That way you don't miss another upload.
Well, thank you, boss. That was beautiful as always, but it was not as beautiful as Monday Night Raw and Bobby Lashley, the great Bobby Lashley. Are you not excited for this boring piece of crap to be back on TV, and also for the legendary Hall of Famer Jack Swagger Hager Magger? Yeah, we are ready, man. The wrestling world is on fire, but tonight we're going to honestly, seriously get into the Wednesday night quote-unquote war between All Elite Wrestling, AEW, and NXT. And I'll tell you this, boss, to kick off, though, I felt like a little kid again watching. I mean, I wasn't a kid back then. I was about 14, 15, somewhere around that time when we had the Monday Night Wars, and it had that vibe, it had that feel. I was all jacked up, man. It was great. I was grilling. I sent you a picture of that. I saved you some, but you didn't come get any, so...
I wish I could have. I really did. That was looking good, fam. But yeah, this is my first time being a part of something like this, and boy, I was hyped for this.
That's right, man. That's right, because you were. That's right. You weren't around. You were a little tiny thing when the 90s, right? The mid 90s, late night, the Monday Night Wars were going on, huh?
Yep.
I actually found, you know what, I was going to go into something first, but since you brought that up, if you don't mind, I want to read something. It's a short article from Sports Illustrated. It was titled Wrestling's New quote-unquote Wednesday Night Wars, a throwback to the sports 90s heyday. Since you mentioned that, and this writer kind of captured some of my sentiment a little bit. His name is Dan Green, and it was posted up October 3rd. It was yesterday, and I'll go into a little bit here. How did you spend the most significant night of televised American wrestling in decades? Maybe you opted to commit to AEW's debut on TNT to see what the new guys might offer in the weekly 2-hour form that will be so crucial to their success. Or perhaps you stuck with the more proven commodity of WWE's NXT and its trio of major championship matches. More likely, if you're as curious as I imagine most wrestling fans were, you flipped at least a little between both. Me, I did some of that myself, though I mostly stuck to AEW and recorded NXT to watch afterwards. Same thing I did. Abstaining from social media for 2 whole hours, and he puts that with exclamation point, because you know how hard it is to stay off of social media to avoid spoilers.
I avoided social media like the Black Plague. Yep.
There you go. And here we go to finish off. A quote again. Aside from that new, I guess he's talking about the social media thing, very 21st century measure, the night had a thrilling air of the late 1990s to it, with the exception of a brief, misguided foray into Monday nights by TNA Impact in 2010. It has been 18 years since wrestling fans experienced a major head-to-head battle between 2 rival wrestling outfits on cable TV. That means that realistically, for any wrestling fan under, say, the age of 25, what you were talking about, those who would have been at most 7 years old when WCW folded in 2001, or those who have come to the genre most recently, they have no memory of the excitement of bouncing between networks to see how the 2 shows would try to outdo each other that week, be it with storyline twists, surprise appearances, or thrilling in-ring action. So yeah, he goes on just to say that Wednesday night offered a taste of the uninformed and a flashback for the Monday Night War. So basically, that's what he was capturing. I agree with him, man. I felt that that's the first thing. As soon as AEW, and I did that too, I watched AEW first, even though I didn't know at the beginning that they were going to have the replay as Nitro used to do back in the days. But even knowing that, I didn't flip over to NXT. I said, man, let me stay on AEW because this is history. It's their first show. Just like I remember back when WCW had their first Nitro, I was glued in because it was their first show on the air. So I was there, man. I was all AEW. I watched it. I did flip a couple of times just to see what was going on, but I didn't want to ruin it for myself because I was going to go back and watch NXT afterwards the next day. So I did, man. Right. I mostly stay in AEW, but as soon as the promo came on, and then you saw, you heard JR and Tony Schiavone, I felt, man, oh man, I felt like I was back in the day. I was like, this is. I turned to my wife and the kids were watching. I'm like, man, this is like I was a little bit older than you guys, man, and I was here watching Nitro and Raw, and it just felt exciting. So it's good, man. As they've said all over social media, one of the good things that social media said, because we see a lot of poison in there as well. But so what they say, you know what? We are in a good time in wrestling. It's a good time to be a wrestling fan.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Again, this is like my first experience. I'm 21, so this is my first experience of being a part of something like this, and it was hype. And I did switch a little bit myself. I switched mainly, I think, when AEW was during commercial, was like in commercial, not the split screen one, but like when the AEW was in commercial, I flipped over there like a half a second, then I came back. It was stuff like that, but I loved this. I loved it. It was a fun time, bro, for real. Looking forward to this. And now that I know I can watch both and make my own comparison. Shoot.
Well, there you go. I know that you haven't, for the record, you haven't know that we're reviewing here, but you did see AEW, so we'll talk a little bit more about that. But I guess I'll recap a little more of NXT. But you didn't see NXT, but you know the results as well. So, right, correct?
Yes, I know the results.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I mean, anything. I'm really curious to see how. I mean, I'm sure you've seen videos of the Monday Night Wars, or you've read stuff, or you've heard from other people, but I know you're excited. But how does it feel? I mean, you've never seen something like this, and
no, I've seen like episodes of like old Raw and WCW whenever it was coming on. But like being a part of it myself is actually, especially now in the 21st century, now that we got social media and all of that, is crazy because.
Okay, we back here. You good now, boss? Fixed your stuff?
Hopefully. Hopefully.
I hope so. If not, I'm doing this without you.
Fair enough.
Okay. Already upsetting me, man. We're only, a few minutes into this damn podcast. You really have a way, huh?
Yeah.
Well, before we go into the AEW NXT more specifically into the two shows, and I know the ratings were in. Did you take a look at that or no?
I know AEW won, and as far as like rating goes.
Yeah, real quick, it said they pulled in 1.4 million views. This is the last thing that I've seen, and this is according to The Wrap. AEW pulled in 1.4 million viewers, and NXT trailed behind with 891,000 viewers. They were 11% down from the previous week, which makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense because AEW brand new. I kind of don't count this week, honestly, to tell you the honest truth. I really kind of don't count this first week. Just mentally, I don't count it because it's the first show. Everybody's going to be out watching that first show. Let's see how they do as the week goes on. You know what I'm saying? I mentally don't count their first week.
I agree 100% with you. To me, it's kind of like you go to a movie premiere or something. The movie came out, maybe the first week it does great. If it doesn't hold up, then you see it start dropping. I mean, you got to see a movie or any show or anything. The first week you get a lot of buzz. So after that, yeah, man, it's just the first show. It's just the first show. So I tell everybody, look, calm down. It's not that I'm an AEW hater or I'm a WWE fanboy, because we're going to hear all that. And I've seen already the poison on social media. Oh, AEW kicking NXT's ass or WWE's ass. Like, they're done. They're buried. They're on life support. I've heard things like that from even people close to me. So No clowns. It's this is the first week, right? Let's take it easy. Let's chill. It's the first week AEW did what they were supposed to do. They're out there creating this buzz. Now let's see weeks down the road. Man. Let's see a month, 2 months, 3 months down the road. Let's see what's going to happen there, you know?
Right. And honestly, I see two. I can think of like maybe 2 signs that I'm already kind of iffy on. And honestly,
what do you mean?
Probably taking the road to TNA.
Oh, really?
I can forget it.
Okay. Yeah, we'll get into that. We'll get into that when we get into the AEW show. And I'll do that first. We'll get into AEW first, and then we'll finish up with NXT since both of us saw AEW first anyway. And just to real quick, because I know we were saying getting things off of line and seeing, this was a great post, and I think I just read it to you. Speaking of Jack Swagger, and I was making fun of that at the beginning, which was, to me, I mean, Bobby Lashley and Jack Swagger, whatever, man. These people here said, listen, here's a quote unquote, listen, I don't dislike Jack Swagger, and it's cool to see different faces grab some shine, but don't sit on these apps and act like y'all ever cared about Jack fucking Swagger Hager in or out of WWE now that he's in AEW. Amen.
Fair point. Because if he would have showed up and returned in WWE, if he would have showed up and returned on Raw or SmackDown,
nobody would have gave a crap.
Really cared.
The most I
showed up and attacked Kofi Kingston or something. Let's just use that.
Exactly.
Who would have really cared?
No, I've actually be pissed. Let's say he would have showed up on tonight on SmackDown and ruined that match between Lesnar and Kofi and attacked Kofi for no reason, basically just to come in and make a splash. I wouldn't have cared, and I would have been kind of pissed.
Right.
So, yeah, right. I mean, the only time I cared about Swagger, it is. The only time I cared about Swagger a little bit was when he was doing the All-American thing. I forgot what it was called with damn, I even forgot the other dude now. It looked like Yosemite Sam.
Neb Coulter.
Yeah, there you go. Coulter. There you go. See, that's how much I cared and not cared at the same time. But yeah, that was the only time it was kind of entertaining. You know, they were taking some of the right-wing political stuff that was going on and kind of played it in there, and I thought it was fun. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, then Swagger had to go and ruin his own push, but whatever.
That's another story for another day, which we're not going to tell anyway because we don't give a crap about Jack Swagger. I don't. Anyway, man, before we get into the AEW, since we're talking about the poison on social media and how people react, I'm going to sound like a broken record maybe every time we do some of these podcasts, but I just want to remind everybody that this is all subjective, man. Whether we like AEW, NXT, WWE, I mean Raw, SmackDown, if you think it's good, if you think it's bad, at the end of the day, this is entertainment. Let me say that again. This is entertainment. It's like a show, a TV show, a movie. People have different likes. Some people like horror movies. Some like romantic comedies. Some like action movies. Some don't. So this is entertainment. And we could be passionate about our love for pro wrestling, because I already know these people, oh, well, I'm very passionate about pro wrestling. That's why I get the way I do. Okay. You're passionate about your love for pro wrestling, but at the end of the day, it's still entertainment, and we like what we like for many different reasons. We all watch, when we watch these shows, Buzz, we all watch with our own set of goggles, just like we see the world, with our own filters that's based out of different things, man. Our interests, our values, how we were raised, our surroundings, our DNA, what we're made of, you know. So there's no need to call someone out only for their own preference of entertainment. I don't think that that's right. And you know me, man, I like to come here and have some fun and call people out and you know, talk some shit. I have no problem with that. I don't believe in censorship. I don't like none of that. But let's be real, man. There's no need to call someone out just because somebody says, oh, I like Roman Reigns. And I think you've said this before. Oh, if I like Roman Reigns, or I'm a Roman Reigns, oh, you are a cancer. You're what's wrong with professional wrestling. And see, things like that is...
They get on my nerves. I'm sorry. No.
I know that's why I brought it up.
That would get on my nerves.
Yeah.
Because the way I look at it, and first, I'm going to say this now. We're mainly going to talk about AEW because I personally didn't see NXT. Okay. But as the weeks and stuff go on, I'm going to watch NXT because I figured out I could watch both. And just FYI, y'all can watch both. So if you miss it at 8, you can catch it at 10. So you can technically watch NXT before you watch AEW. So fun fact for everybody out there. But
Absolutely.
with that being said, there are probably gonna be weeks where we're gonna watch both, and we probably might disagree. To tell you the real truth, we probably might disagree. So.
And that'll be fun.
No.
That's fun. It's fun to disagree about, especially about things of entertainment, man. I had that with a lot of Game of Thrones with that when I was watching it.
True. So this is coming from a place of two people who enjoy wrestling. Two people who are excited that this happened. And if you disagree, that's fine. If you disagree with what I say, because I know I say things that people think, oh, bro, you don't know what the fuck you talking about, huh? Okay, cool. Whatever. I get crucified for not liking Dolph Ziggler, apparently. So,
well, I'm with you there, man. I get called out for some of that stuff too, or I praise somebody or whatever. But yeah, no, I hear you, man. And of course, like I was saying, this doesn't mean that we can't be honest. And if someone is being a total idiot, someone's being rude, someone's being ignorant, or just telling like straight out lies and presenting them as facts, we can call them out. I have no problem with that. You know, we could call out people. Let's call it how it is. I have no issue with that. But again, if someone is just saying that they like what they see, then why turn it into a personal issue or get so emotional about it? And I'll put it here, a lot of podcasts, I mean, way bigger than me. I mean, last time I got like 6 likes on one of these. Nobody's hearing a lot of this shit. But, but again, I like to do it for fun. So some of these guys are big dudes, and I know why they do it. But some podcasters, man, or people on social media really lack what I like to call that emotional intelligence. Or they give you this kind of over-the-top emotional response because it makes them money. So it's either one of the two, man. Either you're trying to con people by just getting all over emotional about shit just to make money, or you really lack that emotional intelligence that you're out there really losing your shit over a professional wrestling show. And again, I love wrestling, man. You know how much I love wrestling, boss. I go to sleep watching wrestling. I've liked this since I was 10 years old. I wanted to be a wrestler. I went to train to be a wrestler. I love it. I'm trying to get back into the business, see if I could do something. I've already contacted some local school here. I'm not going to get back into around 40 years old. I'm not going to jump into the ring, but I contacted Gangrel School, and let's see how that works out, man. Maybe I'm going to stop by there and see if I could do something, commentating, editing, working, just marketing, doing anything for them, try to get back because it's in my blood, man. I love wrestling, but again, man, this whole thing kind of gets to me, and I'll put it out there, man. One guy, I don't care, I'll mention names here. One guy, I've been a fan before of JD from New York. He's getting big. He's doing his thing, and I think he's intelligent about the product, but he fits that bill, or what I say, he lacks a lot of that emotional intelligence, in my opinion, and he's also doing it to make that money. And to me, it kind of seems like that political theater that we see on TV or hear on the radio. I'm not going to get too much into that. It's not a political show, but just to put an example, it's kind of like that thing we see on Fox News, on MSNBC, and a lot on CNN as well. And so, but speaking of politics, I at least get why people get personal and emotional about politics, and not the political theater part, but the actual issues, legislation that goes on, because it affects human lives. There are problems that are social, economic, they're cultural, they're religious. So yes, people can get personal and emotional. Although still, I think we need more emotional intelligence, more self-awareness, and more civility towards others. But I get if it gets personal. But pro wrestling, entertainment, give me a break, man, and I'll jump off my soapbox with that.
Okay, to wrap up what he just said in a bow and get my own take on it. I've seen this a lot. You go around and get like somebody, to me, I got no problem debating with someone. I debate with this someone going over here all the time. I'm gonna slap them sometimes too, but that's
excuse me? Okay, you're trying to slap me on the ass, you sick bastard.
Hey, you got the wrong one. Anyway, I got no problem debating with people. To me, the second you start making a personal attack, you officially negated any other point that you could have or probably already made. So at that point, I just stopped talking to you entirely, because no, because if it gets to the point where you start saying, "Oh, you're the reason," that's the reason, if fans like you, that are the reason why, blah blah blah. No. Just because you don't like my opinion doesn't mean I'm the reason it's this way. Yeah, one guy is the reason for an entire industry being a certain way. Please, come on, man. Okay.
I agree. That's I agree. That's a great, and the great point of that is maybe we have to give these people less attention. We give them a lot of attention, and why? Because a lot of people, maybe not me and you, but a lot of people love that, and they stick, or a majority of the population, I guess. That's why we have the ratings that they do on TV, and politics is the way that it is, and now wrestling, the social media and all this, and the JDs of the world, JDs from New York of the world, and all them, and Joe Cronin and all these people, with their emotional, over the top response. So that's why they're getting so big, because people love that. They hold on to that. They love that emotional stuff, and they love the me against you and that tribal mentality. Oh, they hate WWE, so I'm gonna jump on them. Yeah, and they don't even watch a product. But they love hearing these people, because I've seen all the comments. I've seen a lot of the comments out there. Oh, I haven't watched since like 1997, but I hate WWE. Well, I could talk about it. I'll say, hey, I could say that it's not good because I actually watch it or try to watch some of it. I mean, Raw sometimes is unwatchable, but at least I can talk about it because I keep up with it and I watch it. But come on, man, just stop.
Make a long story short, take what we say with a grain of salt and go on. If you disagree, tell us. Woo, gladly. Me personally, I'll also come back and check the comments on occasion, just on these, just to see what people are saying or whatever. So,
well, I'm never wrong. I don't know about you, but I'm never wrong.
You a damn liar. Anyway, with that being said, take what we say with a grain of salt. Sit back. Let's enjoy this podcast. Let's get it.
And just be better people, man. Let's be civil to each other. Let's be better people, bro. We could go on here, like I said. I don't like censorship. I don't mind shooting the shit. I don't mind talking shit. But let's be more civil, man. There's no need, like Boss said, no need to turn things personal. It's entertainment. It's entertainment at the end of the day, man. Don't lose your shit.
All right.
So let's go on with let's start with AEW, since we both saw that, and I'll give you the floor, man, because I know that you were I was curious about this. I know you were a big TNA guy, and you watched TNA from the beginning, right, or somewhere around there. So
not since 05.
Okay, really. Fair enough. But you used to watch that. So this is AEW's coming out, another alternative.
I still keep up with them.
I know you do. Good for you.
And their dying days of Impact.
And they're done. I've actually heard the show's been a lot better, not only from you, from other people. So
it's been really good.
The problem is where is it? Like it's not accessible. Like, what channel are they on? Like, when are they on?
It's on Act. They're on Act TV now. I don't know.
Yeah, so that's the problem. And also, so much wrestling on TV, man. I can't. But I'll take your word. See, that's a good example there. I don't watch Impact now. So if you tell me, hey, Impact is better, how can I come here and debate you that Impact sucks when I have not seen Impact in a long time?
Right.
So anyway, AEW, man, I'll give you the floor. What do you think about AEW? What do you think about maybe the whole overall feel of the show, beginning of the show, whatever you want to talk? The floor is yours.
This felt good. I definitely think there are a couple of things they could do. I'll say for one, I mean, yeah, I know they're kind of priding themselves on the wrestling aspect, which is all well and good. That's fine, but a couple of promos there and there wouldn't. A couple of interviews, maybe.
They had the tag team interview, right? They interviewed,
true.
Setting up the tag team tournament.
So I guess as time goes on, maybe a couple more of those would help. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe kind of just continue to do stuff like that. I like SCU skit that they did in front of the White House. So definitely make it, they have a good balance of like in-ring stuff and backstage stuff. So I think if they can find that good balance, like keep a good balance of having like in-ring stuff and then like pre-tape stuff like that, then I think that could definitely help things going forward. You know what I'm saying?
True, I guess gotta have some of that entertainment, right? That entertainment. So you can still have the sports feel while having some of that entertainment. And real quick, we'll get into this after with NXT, but I thought going to that point, I was gonna make this after, but going to that point, that sports feel, I actually, after watching NXT now, I actually got more of that sports feel from NXT than AEW. Even though AEW had the whole thing of the records, I'm kind of interested. I don't know if I like it or not, but I'm interested to see how that plays out, where they're keeping scores of everybody's records, which I guess that makes it more sports-like a feel. But
yeah, right. Good point.
Okay, go ahead.
So I guess more or less, I enjoyed the feel of the show, and I guess if I can use it to segue into match one with Darby Allin and Why did I say Darby Allin?
Darby Allin.
Sorry.
Guevara, right?
Sammy Guevara.
Sammy Guevara. There you go.
I don't know why I said Darby Allin. My bad. Because I think I heard he was on a dark match. I probably exactly there.
Look at you, even keeping track of the dark matches. What a fan.
I heard about it online.
What a fan.
True. With Sammy Guevara and Cody. It was good. It was a good fast-paced match to get things going.
It was.
And the suicide dive, and Cody blasted Brandy. Jeez, she took that thing
my God. poor Brandy. I wanted to go and help her out and grab her and help her out.
Cody would knock you with neck weak, but okay. But yeah, so
I'll knock him out with a chair.
I didn't let you say that. Cody gets the win, not surprised. And Jericho beats the daylight out of him. Come to think about it, I think Sammy kind of set him up, really. I mean,
he did, and didn't he came out at the end, right? He came out at the end as well. Yeah. So he did. It was a setup. Yeah, we could say it was a setup.
That was good. That was cool. I like that. You know, just like small continuity details like that that I actually really appreciate. That I wish WWE would do more often. But,
and it's funny because didn't Cody, if I'm correct, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Cody or one of them said that the heel faces are not the same, that we don't have heel and faces anymore. And yet from the start from the start of the show and then towards the end of the show, we clearly got a line here between who are the heels and who are the faces.
Right. So what do you mean by that exactly?
I don't know. But Cody was over as hell, man. Just to get that, Cody was over as hell with this crowd. I don't know if they're just pumped up because it was the first match, but he is over. What do you mean? You wonder why?
There's no possible way he could have been professional. The person behind this whole thing in the first place, so I wonder why.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. He was one of the main players behind him and the Young Bucks making this happen. I know Kenny came on afterwards, but I would say him and the Bucks are the ones that made this happen, man. Him and the Bucks are.
Of course, eventually Cody was going to be over, but it was a good match nonetheless.
Yeah, but he's playing to the crowd well, man. He's playing that character. He's playing to the crowd well. He's being the hero now. So even though I think he's more of a natural heel, Cody, and maybe he'll go that way eventually later, but I'm enjoying him like this.
After I'm enjoying him like that too, and Sammy wasn't bad either. I even like the post-match stuff. It seems like they got they're doing the thing of post-match interviews too. That's kind of cool. I like that.
Yeah, that's cool. I've seen WWE do that sometimes in the pay-per-views, but they're not consistent with it. But yeah, it seemed like they were trying to do that here, at least with the big matches, right?
Yeah, I mean they did it with the first match. I think they did it with the women's championship match. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know they did it for those two.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But as far as the first match, I was impressed, huh?
I was too, man. A great match to kick it off, and I like how they referenced. They mentioned Nitro in the first match and the feel, and it was there was Jushin Thunder Liger versus Brian Pillman, and as they were saying it, I was saying it too, and my wife's like, "God damn, you're just an encyclopedia of wrestling," and I'm like, "Well, no, I wouldn't go that far, but I just for some things I have a good memory, for others I don't, and that again goes back to my passion for professional wrestling, even though I am not here losing my shit over it and getting my blood pressure high like other people. I won't mention names again, but anyway. You want to give anything else with this match?
Nope, I was really just going to shift to the post-match stuff. I was there production-wise. I'm wondering what the heck they were doing here.
What do you mean?
The beatdown started. They went to commercial with the side-by-side view. They come back. The beatdown's still going. Why didn't you show the whole beatdown thing go to... I don't know. That was just, I don't know. Like, maybe they need to kind of talk to TNT and figure out, when they should go to commercial and stuff. Because I think I felt like they went to commercial at, weird times throughout this show. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's the thing with, AEW and TNT. I don't know if that's just a network thing. But I think they need to do some talking and figure out, okay, when is the best time to go to commercial? Because I felt like...
All right, so I'm back. Our second pause of the day. We could never escape this, boss. Could never get a clean podcast. Nope. But thank God everybody didn't hear everything else that went on. And I was on the phone, and you didn't even hear it either. Yeah, one of my sons. So both of my sons have been sick with a fever. One missed 2 days of school. He went to school today. Now my youngest sick with a fever at home today. So the problem though, my youngest one comes and tells me, "Hey, George is still not home from school. Like, where is he?" Usually they get here about half an hour ago, and so I had to go outside and see where the bus is and all that. Long story short, the bus was just late, so he was late half an hour. But his brother was worried for him, and yeah. Yeah, then the wife called me and she's like, why weren't you out there at 4:30 in the bus and this and that? I'm like, dude, buses are late. I'm like, and I was doing a podcast and I lost track of time. I didn't tell her that because she'll probably kill me. And I don't think she listens to my shit anyway, so I could say it here and share it with everybody. And even if she does, whatever, man, it is what it is. And yeah. So we got into a little heated argument there over the phone, and she kind of hung up on me. So that's where we're at now.
Ouch.
Is that too much?
Let's
I'm uncensored, baby. I am uncensored. I told you. Well, no, man, I get it. We were both just freaked out because of son. This is the first year that they're going on the bus together. So they just coming in late. This is like the first time the bus was really late. So yeah, it gets it gets a little. Yeah. We're both worried. So I guess that says we're pretty good parents, or we're decent parents, I guess.
Yeah, true.
Okay, so to lead back into this, we talked a lot about the first match, about Cody and Guevara. Yeah, it was a good match. If I want to compare, since we're not going match by match or anything here, I mean, this kind of open house here, but I know NXT kicked off with, and I'm not going to jump all the way to NXT, but NXT kicked off with to counter this, and this is the fun part. This is the fun part about these wars or having the show at the same time. And WWE and WCW used to do that sometimes to try to beat each other off the break. We heard Eric Bischoff talking about the little tricks they said or give away the results and things like that. So to counter Cody Rhodes in the beginning, like, yeah, you're going to start off with that. Well, we're going to do the NXT Championship match and give you Adam Cole versus Matt Riddle right off the bat. And as good as Guevara and Cody was, to me personally, I enjoyed Adam Cole and the Bro Man a lot better.
Can't really make them compare the thing because you didn't see the thing. But
yeah, you didn't see it. I just thought it was a better match. It was one of the typical world title matches, and you had some close finishes. Not as much. I think they were okay. You'll go back and see it. It was for your liking. He didn't kick out of 150 moves, but they had some close falls and. Yeah. No, they had some close falls, and it was good, man. I think that told the story of what NXT is all about. That first match. But if you want, we'll go over the show, and then when we get into NXT, I'll get a little bit more into that. What else stood out of you in AEW or any other matches that you thought was great about the show? You talked about some of the production value, some of the promos that you would like to see included.
All right. I want to say this. Let's jump to back with the thing, man, because everybody was saying that was a match of the night. I disagree.
Oh, okay. I like this. I like this already.
I disagree.
Go ahead.
And I thought the match was good, not as great as everybody was saying it was, though.
It's funny because we said we're going to disagree here, and I'm sure we are. But a lot more often than not, and maybe that's what we talk about. We kind of on the same page, and I no pun intended, Adam Page. But I have here in my notes when I wrote notes about this match, I put not a bad match, but nothing special.
Right, and everybody was saying that was the match of the night.
I think it was a little too long for what they gave us. And then it kind of ended abruptly. I don't know. It was just...
Right.
I don't know.
I think lengthwise it was fine, but like maybe just the action in between, I wasn't super into it, really. It was just me.
I think Pac slowed it down a lot, man. Pac, yeah, 2 Pac, 3 Pac, 4 Pac, 5 Pac. Well, he slowed the match down a lot. I mean, he's got a guy who can fly around, but he's this angry bastard now, and he wants to hurt people. So, I mean, the match did tell that story where he's different now. He slows down the pace. He wants to just kick your ass, and felt Adam Page was the one actually speeding up the pace a little bit when you would think maybe it would be the other way around, that Page is the bigger dude and again Pac could fly around sometimes, but I don't know.
And I think also I'm not too into Page yet.
That's an interesting thing, because that's, again, in my notes I have that maybe it's just me, because and I get this, man. Like I said, we see things through our own goggles, our own filter, so I have to be subjective here. Maybe to other people it's a great match because they're invested in these guys and they know them and they followed them, and maybe this is just me because I'm not that invested in a lot of the AEW guys yet. Maybe that'll change in the future, and
Right.
To drive home that point, my favorite match in AEW so far, not just this, but any match that they've had since AEW has been a thing, has been Cody Rhodes versus Dustin Rhodes. That brother versus brother. Why? Because I know them. I knew them. I'm invested in them. I was invested in that story. I followed them for a long time. So, again, man, others might be invested in some of these guys more than me, and that's why they would disagree, and I'm cool with that.
Right, and I guess speaking of favorite matches, the women's title match, I gotta say, that match was awesome. That match, say what you want about Nyla Rose, be whatever type of way you want to be about Nyla Rose, but you cannot sit here and say that was a bad match. Rio and Nyla Rose, they killed it to me. They had the match tonight. Fight me.
It wasn't a technical masterpiece, but it's what wrestling should be, getting the crowd hot, and they did them. And it was a lot of these matches work along. We see this with Brock Lesnar when it's a contrast of styles, when it's that underdog trying to get the win, and then especially Rio getting the win at the end. That was, I popped for that too, and I remember my wife was there popping. She's like, "Oh man, she won," and she's getting the shit beat out of her, but she kept coming back, and just it was good, man. It was good. It was a lot of what we see with maybe I wasn't gonna say Shayna Baszler, but she's because we see that underdogs trying to beat her, but this is different. This is, you talk about underdog. This is a real underdog because that size difference is, massive, and one of them was born with testosterone and the other one is not. So, not to get too much into that, but. Yeah, man, but there was I don't know, man. I would still say, to me, I think Cody and Guevara might be the match of the night. The main event was fun. Pac and Hangman was okay to me. Cody and Guevara may be the match of the night, but only if I'm looking at in-ring work. But as far as I could see your point why this would be match of the night, because I have in my notes here, I put, man, where they had a great women's title match, and I put very, very, very fun. I put 3 varies. It was very, very fun because of the dynamic and the contrast of styles, and again, the underdog Rio just having a great moment at the end, and they had that crowd hot. That's what you want from a match, just, the crowd to be hot, like they were, like they are in NXT for a lot of the takeover matches, so... I enjoyed it.
One criticism for that match.
Yeah.
One, Nyla, to me, went down too quickly to Rio in the very beginning.
Good point. You mean that she should have kicked her ass a little more and then made her work for...
Rio hit a couple of forearms and then got her with a Hurricane Rana or something like that.
Yes.
I saw her bump for... I'm like, wait, huh? What?
I'm gonna have to go back and see that again, because that's I like analyzing a wrestling match in that point, like little things like that. That's awesome, man, because you're young. Relatively young to me, and for you to understand that, it's like you understand the psychology of a wrestling match and how it needs to be told. Because, dude, you're this big woman. You're much bigger than your opponent. You have to make them work for it. It's kind of like taking that. It's kind of like getting a move at the beginning, and then after not being beat down so much, you stay down for a 2.5 count. And some of these guys have that psychology, some don't. And jumping ahead to NXT again, Adam Cole and Bro, you watched that match at the beginning. I think Bro hit him with some. There was a big move, but Adam Cole had not been beaten down a lot. He kicked out at 1. Boom, right away, because it was the beginning of the match. You have to work up to that, and yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and see that, but that's a good point. That's a very good point.
Good observation. I get the way that the Hurricane Rana kind of could have worked a little bit at least. If you still wanted to do the move, I would have somehow had her kind of hit the Hurricane Rana, but she kind of stumbled forward, maybe grab onto the top of her, maybe kind of keep her balance, that way she's still standing and didn't have to bump his move. I would have did the Hurricane Rana, maybe on the part where she would have flipped her, just had her just stumble forward, really. Yeah. You know what I mean?
That's a great point, man. That's a good observation. And for people, that's what we give you here, man, in the J-Dogg Nation Network. We give you intelligent, psychological observations here of professional wrestling instead of this over, emotional crap. And that's why I have you here with me, boss.
Yeah,
But no, it's a great point. Great point.
I love the match.
Yeah. No, the match was fun, man. The match was indeed. I know some people I read out there and say, "Oh, well, this wasn't a great match. What are you guys talking about?" Yeah, in ring again, move by move. Was it better than Cody and Guevara? Was it even better than Pac and Hangman? Maybe not move by move, but just the story that they told in the match and the way they got the crowd going. It was good. It's good, very good match.
Hold on, can I back up a minute?
Yeah.
Somebody asked this question on Twitter.
Okay.
Was Cody Rhodes in this show too much? They pointed out 4 times he was in the show.
How many times?
They pointed out 4.
Okay.
And it was the video package, and I'm like, wait, no, that doesn't mean it was like a video promo package, the first match, the post match, and then the main event. Post beatdown.
I mean, we could put it on there. I didn't. Just looking back on like how I felt at the moment, I didn't feel like it was. I didn't feel like it was because I think, and again, Cody, if you see him come out, he was over as hell. Nobody complained about Stone Cold Steve Austin back in the day being in 4 segments, The Rock being in segments, people like that being in a lot of segments because they're over. When you're over, you're over, and you put it out. You put them out there. I have no problem with that.
I mean, I kind of don't count the video promo because if you're talking about the opening one, first, why wouldn't he be in it?
Exactly.
2, if you're counting the ones that they showed of Sammy Guevara, why wouldn't they count that? Because he was facing Cody Rhodes. It would be stupid if they didn't put Cody in there. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I mean, what I remember is he's there at the beginning.
Video promos I didn't count.
Yeah, what I remember, he was there at the beginning, and then I remember him at the end, part of that beatdown at the end of the night too, right?
Okay, yeah. But I'll count it. I'm like, his match, his post-match stuff, of course. Yeah. And then the main event, which I guess you can argue maybe he shouldn't have been in there, but I don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, we could get to that. If you want to segue into that, then let's go with the main event. Main event was Omega. Yeah. And the Young Bucks, the Elite, and it's appropriate. You had kicked it off with Cody. You kick it off with the guy. I know some people already, oh my God, but they're putting themselves over and But dude, first of all, they already were over before they even started AEW. They're over for a reason. I'm sure the young guys are going to get some chances. Young guys are going to come up, but
and they lost too.
And they lost, exactly. They've been losing, and Omega has been losing. Omega has been losing. He doesn't have a winning record, I think. So. And then Omega didn't lose. He got destroyed by Moxley in that, man. Let's forward ahead. That glass table. I was like, holy shit. And I have it here when I go, after going through that glass table, I want to see what these two can do in a match. Give them a no-holds-barred match and just let them beat the hell out of each other, man. I want to see that.
I'm sorry. They have to after all this.
Yeah, I want to see. That I'm invested in.
Match, I'm going to be disappointed.
Yeah, I'm invested in that. I want to see Moxley pull out a good match like that, man. I don't have any memorable Moxley or Dean Ambrose matches per se. Maybe some with AJ Styles and stuff like that he did.
With Seth Rollins, really.
Yeah. Some of the Falls Count Anywhere. I mean, the Lumberjack match they had at SummerSlam one year was good. They've had a ladder match, I think, stuff like that. Triple threat with the Shield. But, yeah, no, I want to see that, man. I want to see Omega and Moxley and let them just tear it up, man. I'm really talk about being invested. I'm invested in that. And the main event, it was what it was. I mean, Jericho, Omega was taken out, so it was 3-on-1, right? It ended up being 3-on-1. LAX and Jericho?
3-on-2.
3-on-2, sorry. 3-on-2, yeah, the Young Bucks. They're so small, I count them as one. Anyway, I'm just... So Jericho, and of course, I mean, it was the right booking. You get the Le Champion over in the first match. And, first main event, first night, you get the champion over. And, of course, it was 3-on-2, so they, you're not going to put the Bucks over there. So they won. At the end, man, it kind of, then again, we go back then, Jack Swagger, whatever he want to call himself now, he comes out, and again, stop the fucking presses. And then we get, this is where my criticism again, we get an old WCW Nitro kind of ending with the quote-unquote bad guys, the NWO at them, putting a beat down on the good guys, only that this is not the NWO unless they make these guys a stable. It was just a chaotic way to end the show, kind of like, oh yeah, look, we got all these guys and they're just beating the hell out of these guys, and unless it leads to something. I know that Cody Rhodes and and Jericho are gonna fight, so that leads to that. And it also told the story of Omega and Moxley during the match. But at the end, it kind of felt like that old WCW Nitro kind of ending.
Here's what I was going to say. I kind of have an issue with this too. Just like this was like look at at the moment I was hyped because I'm like this is cool. This is actually really really cool. Wild way to end it. I like it. I love chaos. Good stuff. Here's my problem with it. Remember how I said earlier I feel like they're kind of falling to TNA territory here? Let me tell you why I think they're falling to TNA territory here.
Okay.
They bring in Jake Hager, Jack Swagger, whatever the deal, right? I hope that this is one of the only few times they've actually bring in a name at a big spot like this, because TNA has this issue of bringing in a guy from another show and then making him put him at the top spot immediately. You know what I'm saying? They did that like all the time. If you look back at people like Angle, Booker, Nash, Sting, all those guys end up going to TNA. Then they getting put in Houston spots almost instantly. So you're talking about
Swagger or Moxley as well? Because they did that with Moxley too.
I guess you kind of want to, if you want to throw both of them in that category, you kind of can. So that's the only thing I'm kind of scared about. Where I feel they're going down TNA's road a little bit with that. Okay. That's the only thing I'm kind of scared about. So I hope they don't get too reliant on guys like that. You know what I'm saying?
I get you. I mean, I think I get your
doing stuff like that. Not really guys, but doing stuff like that.
Yeah, I get your criticism. I mean, I think they're doing a good job with like guys like Guevara and some of these tag teams out there that they can put. I think it was the first show, so maybe they wanted to create that splash, and they wanted. So I'll give them that pass. Like you said, it's a first show. We can have the criticism, and look, I'm criticizing it too. I thought it was like I said, a WCW type of ending where the bad guys, NWO, just putting a beat down on all the good guys. I wasn't really that invested in it, especially with Swagger coming out. I'm like, come on, man, dude. If it would have been CM Punk running out there, that'd be a different story. But you got to take the name recognition into consideration there. But I mean, I would have marked out like crazy there, and that would have been. The ratings would be off the roof the next week.
I still thought it would have been a cool moment. I still thought it was a cool moment. I'm like, oh snap, it's Jack Swagger, Jake Hager, whatever else.
Yeah, I did say that, but I didn't really. I was like, oh, Jack Swagger. Oh, wow, he's here. And then I was like, I cared for it for like 5 seconds. It was like, oh, wow, Swagger's here. And then I'm like, oh, whatever, it's Swagger. That was kind of my thing. It was like, okay, yeah, I'm excited for 5 seconds, but then,
he's actually here. Do I really care?
Look, Moxley brought it. I was excited for Moxley. Just he's a great character, and just the way he like left WWE and then immediately jumped there, and then he crashed that party and just beat the hell out of Omega. That was good.
I like that crazy, just just kind of standing behind Omega, just looking around and crap. I'm like, okay, that's actually kind of cool. I like
that's fantastic. I like how Omega's mopping the floor, and I think it's JR Shivani said, "Oh, well, the cleaner," and I'm like, that dude, God.
Yeah, that's what they called him in Japan.
Exactly. So that's what they were like, oh, the cleaner, and I'm like, that's great. That's it was fantastic. It was cheap, but it was fantastic. But anyway, man, I mean, overall, I think it was a fun show. It was a good show. But I don't think some people are saying it was fantastic and it was that's why they killed him in the ratings and this. I wouldn't go that far. Again, I'll give it a fun show, a good show, and again, the ratings were what they were because it's new. And it's a first show, and people wanted to see it. Shit, like I did. I wanted to see it. I'm going to be honest. I'm more of an NXT guy. I'm more invested in them. But I wanted to see AEW because it was the first show. From now on, I'll probably watch NXT live if I am home because a lot of Wednesdays I work late, so I might watch both of them on demand. So it just depends what I have to like keep social media quiet all of Wednesday, maybe someone going into Thursday. But I'm excited, man. I'm excited about AEW and see where they go. Where they go from here.
I am officially happy on Wednesdays now.
Mm-hmm. Big day.
First off, I got nothing to do in the evening typically, unless I'm working on homework or whatever. But other than that,
okay.
I I'm Wednesday now because
nice. And it starts at 8. Everything starts at 8 o'clock. So I get off. My schedule's 12 to 9:30. I get off at 9:30 at night now. But they don't give overtime in my job. So what I do is I stay a little later on Sunday. I stay a little later on Monday. I stay a little later on Tuesday. And actually, this week I worked, and I was out of work at 5:59. So I was able to come home, get the grill going, and watch that. So I might say, you know what? It's an hour and a half. All I have to do is stay about half an hour late every day, and I'll be out of there at 8 o'clock every damn Wednesday, so I can watch AEW and NXT, baby.
Talk about having your priorities in check.
You're damn right.
For real though, that was fun.
It was
If they
fun.
can keep up putting on shows like that, then I think we'll be in business. I think maybe a time comes along, we'll maybe start to see a couple of more cracks in the armor. We saw a couple of here that we pointed out. Yep. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think we're gonna rate which one. Well, we'll talk about which one we thought was better. You know.
I mean, well, you didn't. To be fair, you didn't see NXT, so it's kind of hard to say that. So if you want, let's not. Since you said it's the going forward, that's fine. When we do these reviews, we could do these reviews like every Friday or something, and then put them up. Give us a couple days to digest. I know everybody wants to jump on board and be the first one to talk about it. It doesn't matter, man. We like to take our time here. Give it to me, God damn it! No, I was like, but man. Look,
you Chloe was saying to you.
Yeah. Excuse me. Dude, I'm already gonna get in trouble with my wife if she hears this. And now you're throwing me more under the button. No. Chloe is a fictional character. Breaking kayfabe, fictional character. But she's my little sweetheart. Anyway. NXT, man, we could talk about it a little bit, but I wanted to mostly dive into AEW. Number one, we both saw it. You saw it. You didn't see NXT. Number two, it is their first show. We know what NXT is about, so let's not talk a lot about it. Let's just wrap this up real quick.
Okay.
I just wanted to say they kicked off with a great NXT title match, and just to go into a little bit of it, man, I love NXT because to me, NXT represents, and I think we talked about this before, NXT represents to me the evolution of pro wrestling. Like no longer it's just that old formula of the good guy looking strong at the start of the match, bad guy takes over with something underhanded, good guy gets beaten up for a while but slowly makes a comeback little by little, getting the crowd back into it, finally boom, explodes, makes that final comeback, either wins the match or the bad guy does something and goes over. If you don't know what I mean, little kids hearing this, go back and watch an old Hulk Hogan match, any Saturday night's main event, any pay-per-view, and you will see exactly that. The Hulkster hulking up right at the beginning, tearing it up. He gets cut down by Ted DiBiase, whoever. That was a classic, man. You see Ted DiBiase, he got, boom, underhanded trick, tactic, takes over the match. Hogan takes a beating for a good 10 minutes or more. Boom, makes his comeback. Hulkamania wins. So if you got that, look at that. But now wrestling has become more of a back and forth, ebb and flow between two guys, more competitive, more high spots. And in the indies and other places, they just do high spot after high spot. And I've seen this. And then a sloppy ending or an underwhelming finish. In NXT, man, I think they have a good formula. And this Adam Cole versus Ridley match told that story a lot to me. They have this formula, back and forth action, high spots, but then they have good in-ring psychology and storytelling. You want to see that, go watch Gargano, go watch Ciampa, watch Adam Cole. And this Adam Cole and Ridley, if you go back and see it, boss, look at the facial expressions, because it's one thing, you play to the crowd, but they also have that production value. Again, going to WWE, they know how to play to the camera. Matt Riddle's face after he got hit with some of these moves was outstanding. I mean, they're selling it not just with their body, with their facial expressions, and that tells the story in the ring. So not only are you having these high spots and these close falls and it's exciting, but they still maintain that Jake the Snake Roberts or Shawn Michaels kind of selling or being over with the crowd and that crowd psychology, that camera psychology. So that to me, not to get that I don't want to get into move for move of this match, but that's just the story that I got from not only this match but the entire NXT show and NXT in general, man. I get that from the all the way from the main event, from that match to the tag team title match at the end with the Street Profits and Undisputed Era was great as well. So they had three very good championship matches. and just little things setting things up. They had things setting up like Damian Priest came out and attacked Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne was in singles action. Decent match. I think it was Burke, Tony I forgot his first name, Burke. Part of the tag team, and then you had Gargano. Yeah, and then you had Gargano as well against Thorne, I believe, in singles action. And then you had Tommaso Ciampa return at the end. So we had Finn Balor and Tommaso Ciampa return in this event. Yeah, return both guys gunning for Adam Cole. So this sets up new contenders for him. We have somebody back in Finn Balor. But, before I get into that, anything for what I know I said a lot there, but anything I had to say with the whole evolution of wrestling and how it is now and what you see in NXT and compare it maybe to AEW or other places?
I think for me personally, as far as like NXT goes, I mean, yeah, I think they do. They have a good formula in place, which makes it easier to watch. And I still think so far, like NXT been, are great, and I think for the past couple of weeks they've been great. Other than, as I pointed out, sometimes I felt like they've been kind of hit and miss, but I think maybe they probably might change things up now that they're actually on the network and stuff, so I'm going to kind of maybe reset my previous judgment on the NXT show. I still think at times they go overboard. I still think at times they go overboard, and as far as the in-ring style of the two shows, not too different, at least now. Not too different to me, personally. I don't know. Again, I guess we'll see how AEW does as time goes along, but so far I'm not really noticing too much.
I think you're right, because that's why I said it's the new school mentality. I don't just mean NXT. That's why AEW is big, and these guys have gone big, and I mentioned that in our previous podcast about why the Young Bucks, even though they were called spot monkeys, they didn't get over just because of the spots they did, because a lot of guys are athletic now, can do that, but they know how to sell. They know how to sell themselves. They know how to get over with the crowd. They have that crowd in-ring psychology, all that is important. They have that as well. So, yeah, guys like the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, they have that new school flavor, that new school mentality with the moves and going move and to move and to move, and that ebb and flow of a match. It's different than before, but they still hold on. They're still fans of professional wrestling and that old mentality of, hey, just that ring psychology, man, that I don't think that gets old. As long as you're performing in front of a live crowd, that has to be part of it, that psychology, and that just grabbing that the attention of the fans. So yeah, no, I mean, I think you're right. They have a lot of that in it. Again, AEW is new. I'm just going off of what NXT's formula is, and I broke it down for you guys. It's not just other guys say, oh yeah, they have the right formula, but they don't tell you what it is. I broke it down here, man. I broke it down like a professor and let you know the facial expressions, all these little things that you can pick up on that they have. That do they go a little overboard? You know what, boss? I'm gonna give it to you. Sometimes, yes, but to me it's still exciting. It's funny because I'm the older guy here. I should be here. Oh, back in my day, they only kicked out of one. They didn't kick out of any finishing moves. What kind of bullshit is this? But no, you know what? We all have to evolve, man. You evolve or perish. Anything in life, business, anywhere, man. Our culture, politics, anywhere, and including wrestling. You gotta evolve. And I hear all these dinosaurs. Well, back in my day, and they didn't kick out. You know what? This is new, and as long as it makes sense, as long as it's good, as long as it's entertaining, I'm down with it. I love NXT, man, and this was a good show to me. Bottom line, after seeing NXT, and I just finished watching it today.
Can I wrap this up in one line?
Go ahead.
Can I wrap? I've been thinking about this line for like the past 5 or so minutes. I need a chance to say it.
Thank you
for giving me this chance.
Go ahead.
To close this up, across 2 shows, we had 3 great title matches, 2 epic shows, and 1 Wednesday night war.
Amen, brother. That's it. We'll close it with that, man. If you guys enjoyed it, hit that subscribe button, like. I got ECW over in the Best Damn Universe mode. I got ECW Friday Night Fights coming out next week, probably, if I don't do it this weekend. And we did not review Hell in a Cell because there's only 3 matches announced. So what we will do is we will put out me and Boss are doing a competition, as you guys know, or some of you may not know, but we're doing a competition of all the pay-per-views. We will put out those on Twitter, our predictions, as soon as they announce other matches. We might do it right before the pay-per-view and see what matches are out there, and we'll give our predictions. We'll put it out on Twitter, and then we'll do a review show. How does that sound, Boss?
Cool by me. For
cool.
my channel, TNA should be coming out sometime soon. I probably might try to release it over the weekend.
Very good.
And I guess later on this evening, probably before SmackDown starts, I'll probably stream a little bit more of Fire Pro as well.
Awesome. And you're in the description to Boss's channel will be the link to the show, to JNW Boss's channel, Best Call Universe Mode, and TNA as well on there. You could catch that right in the description and right on here in the top right hand corner of the screen in the card. So subscribe to him, subscribe to my boy Third Strike, stay locked in. Shout out to Coltrane as well, he's back and doing his thing. And XTV, we miss you, brother, we love you. If you have any other last words, man, that's it for me. I thank everybody for joining. And this is going to be fun, boss. We're going to have a lot of these Wednesday Night War videos here because I think it's very fun, just a head-to-head thing, man.
Yep, and just be boss, and we'll holler at y'all later.
Peace out.
Yep.